Hello, this is a Yin Yoga practice. It will be 1 hour long. Today we'll be focusing on 3 things: our depth, which should be from 50 to 70% of our full range of motion; time, so each shape will be between 2 to 6 minutes; and stillness. And we'll focus on stillness in the time frame, and I will give you reminders of when we will come out. And there's a few things you should have. Props, so maybe 1 or 2 blocks. 4 might even work for you. Blanket. If you have a bolster, you can use a bolster. That's what we'll be using in today's practice. So let's start today with Durga Pranayama, a 3-part breath. So just get nice and comfortable. I've got my blanket folded here, and I'm sitting on it, facing my pelvic floor, tilted forward, so that my hips are slightly above my knees. So just go ahead and find your blanket, find a nice comfortable pose, and we'll just start with our breath. You can bring your palms to your knees. It's up to you if you want your eyes closed or open. Everything we do here, just listen to your body. And start to breathe in through your regular breath. So just notice your regular breath. And then as we go a little bit more into this 3-part breath, start to breathe in and breathe in through your belly. And then as you exhale, nose or mouth, breathe it out. And then the next step is to breathe in belly, then ribs. And then through your nose or mouth, let it go. And then the next step is belly, ribs, and expand through your chest. And then breathe it out. And we'll breathe like that just for a few more rounds. Belly first. And belly, ribs. Belly, chest, belly, ribs, chest. Again, belly first. Belly, ribs. And belly, ribs, chest. Let's do that 2 more times. Belly first. Belly, ribs. Belly, ribs, chest. And one last time, belly first. Belly, ribs. And belly, ribs, chest. And let it go. And just at this time, let's set an intention for this practice. And the intention I have for us today is to move through grace. Allow grace to flow through your body. And just allow your mind and your heart center to find grace throughout these shapes that we'll create together. And I'll remind you that if your body starts to wander away from your mat, we'll bring it back in and get grounded back into our grace. If you came with a different intention, you are free to set that on your own. And if you're using the playlist that I offered in the description, you can turn that on now. All right, let's go go ahead and begin on our back. So you can remove your blanket from underneath you, and if it's comfortable, you might even want to place the blanket underneath your mat if you're a little chilly. And we'll start on our back in a supported bridge. So take a moment to find the space on your mat where your spine is long. And if you have a block or even a bolster, you can bring your block into your hand and bring it right in your sacrum. So right between those two fused bones of your back. And just make sure that your glutes are supported and they're not falling off the block, and that you have length in your spine. You can place a block underneath your head, and we'll be here for 4 minutes. Now I'll remind you at the 3-minute mark if you need to adjust that you can. Palms can come by your side, and your gaze is either eyes closed or gaze is up towards the ceiling. As you're here, relax the muscles of your face, relax your belly, and relax your breath. You have the option to keep your knees up, palms by your side. You can flip your palms up. Create more space by opening them up. You can even straighten out your legs or move through any variation of this shape. While you're here in the beginning, just take a little body scan. Notice if you have the tendency to fidget and see if you can find stillness in this shape. Relax your shoulders if there's tension. Notice the heaviness of your sacrum on the block. Maybe even feel the weight of your arms by your side. You're more than halfway through your 4 minutes. If you'd like to bring your legs out, maybe open up through the back. You can try that, explore here. You've got about 1.5 minutes left in this shape. If it becomes too uncomfortable or the depth is too big, too long, you can always move back into your knees up, your feet down. If at any point you notice that you start to move off your mat with your mind wandering, just bring it back to center. You've got 30 more seconds in this shape. you can start to deepen through your breath. We'll take one big round of breath in together. Take a breath in through your nose, and then exhale through your mouth. Bring your feet back down if they were long and extended. And then gently start to lift your sacrum off your block and ever so gently lower down to your spine, nice and slow. And then bring your feet out nice and wide for fallen bridge. Bring your knees together to touch. And let your spine relax on the mat. We're here for about 30 more seconds. All the movements throughout this Yin practice will be slow and very deliberate. And let's start to move into our next shape. You can grab 2 blocks and we'll be moving into butterfly pose, or the shape of butterfly. So bring your blocks, feet together to touch. And you can bring your blocks to your knees, the outside of our knees. And I understand that some of us might have the range of motion to keep our legs or blocks, our knees without a block. But for this purpose in this class, holding stillness for 4 minutes, let's bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out nice and wide and supported with blocks. So feel into that depth for your body. And we will hold here. And then again, maybe you might notice you need to raise the blocks a little higher. And you can always switch it back to lower, or maybe even use the full height of the block for this pose. So feel into your body. And with your arms, you have the option to come to a cactus arm. You can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Your palms can come by your side. So there's lots of different options for the arms in this pose, in this shape. Maybe if your palms are on your heart and your belly, you're noticing the rise and fall of your breath. See if you can find the stillness. And then no more than 70% depth and no less than 50. You're more than halfway through this pose, so feel free to adjust if needed. You could always come back to your breath. Find that grace in your body as we work through our stillness, allowing the hips to open. And if at any time this pose becomes too much of a hip opener, you could always close your knees and come back to your fallen bridge pose. give one final minute here. Start to come back to your breath. As you start to inhale and slowly exhale. And take one more big breath in. Deep exhale, let it go. And then bring one hand to your right knee and one hand to your left knee as you bring your knees back up to center. Give yourself a hug. Bring your knees towards your chest. You can even bring just your right knee in first and give it a hug. And then release it and bring just your left knee in. Give it a nice hug. And we'll release that, let it go. And then for our next shape, let's come to our fetal pose for just a moment. We're just here briefly, moving to your right or left side, and then push yourself up using your top arm, and we'll move around to a tabletop pose. In your tabletop pose, we can use our blanket underneath our knees if you have any knee issues, any soreness in your knees. Just come to a tabletop pose. And stay nice and long and let the tops of your feet come down. Palms are underneath shoulders. And just take a few rounds of breath in your tabletop. And we'll gently start to move through cow and cat. So drop your belly, lift your head, breathe in. And then as you exhale through your nose, round your spine nice and slow, cat pose. Drop your belly, lift your head, cow pose. Round your spine for cat pose. Twice more, drop your belly, lift your head. Exhale, release. One more time. Exhale, let it go. And then with your knees on your blanket, come forward to a modified plank pose. So draw your knees back, palms come underneath your shoulders, extend through your legs. We'll take 3 rounds of breath in our modified plank, slightly active. Just sit in your range of motion. Full breath in. Full breath out. Full breath in. Full breath out. And one more time, full breath in. And full breath out. And then start to come down to your forearms for Sphinx pose. So here we have a few options. You can take a blanket, bring it underneath your chest. You can even roll it up in a ball. Bring your blanket right underneath your chest, right underneath your rib cage. Tuck it in slightly, and then pull your elbows back to create that L shape or a number 11. And then you're shoulders roll back beyond your ears, and we'll be here for 2 full minutes. So just relax your belly down, relax your thighs on your mat. It's a heart opener. It's also releasing low back stress. And just breathe in your Sphinx. Always have the option to move through your head here. Just keep your shoulders and your back still if you are finding any neck rolls. You're here for 1 more minute. Let's see if we can find stillness in this final minute. And then from here, we're going to move on. I'm going to give you permission to stay in your Sphinx, or we're going to move into seal pose. If you choose to take seal, just know that we'll be there for about 1.5 minutes. So just take a nice long breath in here. And a breath out. And then start to extend your arms out in front of you, and we'll move into seal. Push your palms into your mat, straighten out your arms, lift your chest. Your gaze can come forward, out in front of you. And as you're drawing that attention to your palms, just feel the stretch through your back. You're here for 1.5 minutes, or you're in your Sphinx. Just focus in on your breath. Notice if the mind starts to wander, we'll bring our intention, that grace, back into our body, just reminding ourselves that we are focusing on the body, focusing on this healing, and just allowing grace to flow throughout all of our blood, all our vessels, in and out through the breath. Take just a few more rounds of breath in this last 30 seconds. Maybe connect a little deeper to your palms. And take a big inhale here. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. And then bring your elbows down. Walk your hands back towards your knees. Pull your knees into your chest and draw your hips back towards your heels. We'll come into a child's pose, a little counter pose. You can even bring a block underneath your forehead as you rest down in a very supported child's pose to release the work we created in our Sphinx and seal. You're here for about 4 rounds of breath. And just know that as you hold these poses in this yin practice, your body is releasing held stress, sometimes in places we don't even realize that stress is being held. So just allow the process to flow through the body, through our meridians, and just focus on your breath. as we trust the process of the practice. Take 2 more rounds of breath in your child's pose. And then 1 more round of breath. Start to bring yourself up. Shake your hips from side to side. Rock around in circles, one direction. And then in the opposite direction, create big circles. Come back to center. Our next pose is dragon pose. So you will need to bring your blanket underneath your knee. And then you'll have 2 blocks towards the front of your mat. Take your 2 blocks to the left side of your mat and draw your right leg out to the outer edge of your mat. And from here in this dragon pose, we're going to hold dragon for 3 minutes. So in your dragon, it can be very uncomfortable. Sometimes it brings up a lot of stored emotions from our hip. But we'll work through this for 3 minutes. You can place your palms in any height, high, medium, or low on your blocks. Your right foot's out in front. Your left knee is on your blanket. And you're just going to sink into this dragon. Maybe you come to different levels. Allow that opening through this left psoas, hip flexor, through your back. You can come to the outer edge, the knife edge of your right foot if you'd like, but keep your foot nice and flat. There's a lot of options here. Let's find one option and then see if we can find stillness. Remembering that we're staying in that 50 to 70% range of our depth. So if we're too far in, we want to back off just a little. And if we're not quite far enough, we want to go a little deeper. Just take a few rounds of breath, settle in, and just notice as you're here. Notice any resistance. Just notice anything that is maybe getting in the way of you just being here in stillness. Come back to grace in our body. What does it feel like to have grace? Grace for even wanting to come out of the pose. You're here for about 1 more minute. Where can you soften? Always feel comfortable enough to know you can adjust, and you can even move your head. Just try to keep that stillness in your hips. And then we'll slowly start to bring ourselves out. bring your blocks with you. Extend through your right leg and just move your hips from side to side, softly, gently. This is our counter pose. Let's take a still round of breath here. You can exhale, let it go. One more still round of breath. And release it, let it go. Bring your right knee to your blanket. And we'll move to the left side. Take your blocks to the right side of your mat. Your left leg will come out to the side. Be here for 3 minutes on this side. So set yourself up into the position. It might feel different on this side. And just mindful and remembering our range of motion, that depth. So we don't want to go to our edge, our max, and we don't want to be too shallow. We want to find that space where we're at 50 to 70%. And we'll breathe. Relax through your shoulders. You can always move your head side to side. Just breathe through anything that's uncomfortable. There's uncomfortableness and then there's discomfort. If you have any discomfort, you can always back out, adjust. But if it's uncomfortable, just know that you're more than halfway through the time. And you'll be out of this shape in no time at all. If there's any distractions around your room, can you just focus back on your breath? Breathe through any part of your body that may be speaking to you. And again, always come back to grace. You're way more than halfway through. If you need to adjust, always know that that's there for you. There's always permission to adjust and move in any of these shapes, especially these bigger shapes. Let's take a few rounds of breath together. 2 more rounds of breath. And then on your next release, let it go. Come on back. We find a little shake, little movement in our counter shape here. Just knowing that we've been through one of the more intense shapes of this yin practice we will be working on today. start to move our blocks away. Bring your left leg back. We're going to use our blanket once more. Make sure it's nice and folded. And we're going to come to our blanket with our legs out in front. Caterpillar pose is next. Let your pelvic floor sit forward and find a slight tilt of your pelvic floor. We'll be here in caterpillar for 4 minutes. You have a few options in caterpillar. You can bring a blanket, or rather a blanket under your knees. If you have two, you can bring blocks under your knees as well. If you have extra blocks, you can bring them and create this T for your forehead, or maybe one block, just depending on your range of motion and your comfort level. We're going to sit forward in our caterpillar and find a hinge, and just being mindful of that 50 to 70% range of motion. We're going to be here for 30 seconds, rather 3 minutes. And then at the 3-minute mark, I'll let you know when our last minute is arrived. You can always bring maybe blocks by your side if you want to rest your forearms. So in this pose, more blocks may be necessary, or a bolster. You're seated forward, finding that place of stillness. Dropping in and just noticing if anything comes up for you here. Know that you're more than halfway done. If you need to make any adjustments throughout any time in this shape, please feel free to do so. You've got 1 more minute in this pose. If there's any adjustment that you need to make, if you'd like to open your depths up or decrease, this would be the great time to do it. Your next round of breath, slowly start to come up. Move your blocks out of your way. Bring your knees up and let's come to a tiny ball hug. So wrap your arms over your shins, drop your head down, put your knees closely into your chest for a tiny ball hug. And then slowly start to unwind. Take your legs out nice and wide. We're just going to bring our right elbow over our left knee and just gaze over towards your left. And then from here, just move your left leg from side to side, reaching into a little thoracic spine opening. Also bring a block underneath your left hand, which is behind you, and then just take and hold. We'll be here for 1 minute. Focus on your breath. Find a little bit of opening through your thoracic spine with gentle, active push against your right elbow. Take a big inhale here. And exhale to let it go. And then carefully come back to center. Our counter to this will be to move on the other side. Take your left elbow to your outer right side of your knee. Your right hand can be on your block. And just look behind you as you move your right knee from side to side. And then we'll find stillness for 1 minute here. Just gaze back over the right side. Find that slight pressure against your left elbow with your right knee. 1 minute. Focus in on your breath. See if you can breathe through your thoracic spine. Take 3 more rounds of breath in. Last round of breath in. And then let it go. Come back to center. 1 more little tiny ball hug. This time keep your knees a little wider. Take your hands to the inside of your shins. Give yourself a little hug. And we'll slowly start to make our way onto our back. Come all the way down on your back. The option to open your blanket for a little extra support and have a block handy. So nice open blanket as you lay on your back. And from here, have a block or maybe 2. We're going to bring our knees to the left. In this reclined twist, we're here for 4 minutes. So your shoulders are on your mat. We don't want to overextend the depth of our knees, so you can put a block between your knees or maybe a block under your knees, whatever feels better. Maybe play around with it. You have the option to cactus your arms. You can bring your arms out like a T. Your palms can face up or down. And you have the option to gaze over to your right side. Focus in on your breath as you allow this reclined twist in your body. Full rounds of breath in and full rounds of breath out. Relax your shoulders, relax your hips, relax your breath. Come back to grace in your body. This is our final pose until we come to our Shavasana, pentacle pose in a Yin practice. More than halfway there. If your neck is sore, if you're looking to the right, you can always release your neck, bring it to the left or to center. Just continuing to work on your stillness. Keeping our range of depth 50 to 70. On a scale from 1 to 10, that's a 5 to a 7. You have 1 more minute in this. In this shape. The mind starts to get boggled with the uncomfortableness of the shape. We can just come back to the breath. If your mind is wandering, maybe it's left the room, just bring it back into the room. Come back into your body and just notice. On your next round of breath, start to carefully, slowly come out of this shape. You can bring your knees up, create a flat spine, and gently pull your right knee in, and then your left knee, and give yourself a little hug. Light, side to side rock on your low back. Bring your feet down.
a full round of breath with a nice neutral spine. We'll bring our knees to the right. And again, place a block underneath one knee or between your knees, whatever feels more comfortable. You can take your arms out like a T. Just create that space where you're free to find the most comfort in this 4-minute hold, where maybe discomfort may arise. Relax all the way into it. When we hold for that depth of 50 to 70, there is activity in the inactivity. So our grace allows us to hold space for the uncomfortableness of it. If you'd like, you can reach your gaze to the left. Just make sure it doesn't overly increase your depth. Relax your shoulders. Even if your glutes are activated, relax your glutes. Allow for this shape to heal whatever part of the body needs healing. You've got 1 more minute in this shape. If you need to make any adjustments, this would be a great time to do so. Sometimes in the last few minutes of class, the body starts to get a little itchy. It's a great time to come back to the breath. Reminds us to stay present. Slowly start to come back to center, come back to your breath. Carefully bring your knees back up towards your ceiling. Realign your spine. Take your left knee in, give it a little hug, and then your right knee. Carefully open your knees, then close them. And then mindfully bring your knees back together. Give them one last squeeze. Exhale, let it go. Bring your right leg long, your left leg long. Palms can be by your side, facing up. We'll take a 3-minute Shavasana, also known as pinnacle pose. Relax all the way down into this shape. And start to deepen your breath. Find awareness of the weight of your body on your mat as you bend your knees in. Palms can come to your belly. And more awakening here. Go fingers and toes, circle your wrists. And then let's find a fetal pose. Let's turn to our left side. And slowly, gently make your way back to your seated pose. We'll end our practice of our Yin Yoga. Move with grace here. Bring your hands to your heart center. Take a giant inhale. Breathe in. Great big HA. Let it go. Thank you so much for joining me in this practice. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, evening,